So picture standing at the bottom of a staircase in the dark and you can't see the top. You can't even see the next 5 steps, but you take that first step anyway, because that's how progress happens. Dr. Martin Luther King said it best, right? Faith is taking that first step even when you don't see the whole staircase. Faith, take that first step. So Dr. King's words were more than just inspiration. They were a reflection of his life. Born into a segregated society, facing constant opposition, he never saw the whole path laid out in front of him. He certainly never saw that whole path laid out before him. Right? Yet, he led with courage, with faith, and most importantly, guys, preparation, right? So this quote is tied to his teachings on the perseverance and hope. That's what this quote is really all about, right? It's about the teachings on perseverance and hope. He knew that most people hesitate because they can't see the entire plan. But real progress starts with one bold step forward. So let's define a few of these terms that I used here in this quote, right? So let's talk a little bit about faith, right? Faith, guys, big deal, right? I think we overlook this. Well, some people overlook it. That's the belief that the steps you take today will lead to something greater tomorrow, even if you can't see it yet. That first step, the analogy behind first step, right? That's that initial action that proves you're serious about change. That's that first step that many of you still are yet to take. And of course, I love the staircase analogy, right? The entire journey, whether in life or business or financial growth, that's the analogy behind the staircase, right? I'm going to use it a couple more times in this quick video. And of course, vision, right? Seeing the possibilities, not just the obstacles. Oftentimes we spend too much energy focused on the obstacles and not seeing the possibilities. When we apply ourselves and when we get highly engaged, we can do so much better, right? So for my entrepreneurs, right, these aren't just words, they're instructions. Faith means starting your credit repair, forming your LLC, or opening a business bank account, even before you know exactly what the road will lead to, right? So many entrepreneurs are stuck. They're stuck at the bottom of that staircase, right? They delay starting because they don't see the full plan, right? The fear of rejection, so they don't apply for anything, right? They're waiting until conditions feel perfect, which never comes, right? You can't wait, guys, but waiting, and let's talk about waiting. We all know waiting is the enemy, right? Procrastination is the enemy, right? So tomorrow belongs to those who step today, right? If your staircase was in front of you right now, what's your first step? Share with me in the comments. Is it your checking your credit? Is it paying down those debts? Is it finally forming that LLC you talked about 6 years ago, right? Drop that first step in the comments below, because once you name it, you can claim it. All right, so today is that day that you name it. So Dr. King, his leadership was built on certainty, right? It wasn't built on certainty. It was built on courage, right? It was built on preparation, and it was built on relentless action, right? So I keep those 3 things in the back of my head as I go through my journey, right? The same is true in business, right? You don't need the entire funding roadmap one day or on day one. You don't need to see every future approval, but you do need to start building your foundation. You have to start building that foundation to have success tomorrow. Every successful entrepreneur you admire, right, began with certain but necessary steps, right? So imagine this, right? You decide today to pull your credit report, right? You notice errors and dispute them, right? You pay down just one card balance that's over 50% utilization and set up your LLC with a real business address. That first step changes everything. By next month, your scores are improved, right? Within 6 months, you're fundable. Within a year, you're accessing tens of thousands of business credit, right? That's that forward thinking that you need to have, right? The staircase doesn't appear all at once. It shows up step by step. So let's look at a practical framework that you can implement today to start making changes, right? So here's how you can take that first step, right? So pull your credit report using Smart Credit, right? Links in the description below, right? Identify and fix one issue, your utilization or errors you may see on there, or even a late payment, right? Fix one issue. right? Separate your business from your personal. We have to have that separation. That is a given, right? For every entrepreneur, that's the sin of sins. You should definitely separate your business from your personal, right? Form your LLC. Get your N, and that stuff is free, right? Open up a business bank account, right? Begin building trade lines with vendors like Uline and Quill. Trust me, guys, don't listen to the masses out there. They still work. They still work just fine, right? Reassess monthly and keep climbing, guys. So let's recap, right? So faith is big, guys. Faith is that action in the face of uncertainty, right? You got to stand strong. Dr. King lived it. Entrepreneurs must live it too, right? You don't need to see the whole staircase. You just need to take that first step, right? And that's why I wanted to make this video, to make sure that you guys that are struggling out there, you guys that are facing those roadblocks, you hear me loud and clear, right? That step creates momentum, and momentum creates transformation, right? That's where we need to get to in our journey in order to see success, right? So here's my challenge to you, right? So what is going to be your first step after watching this video? Will you check your credit? Will you lower your utilization? Will you open up that first business bank account? Drop a comment in the description below, guys. Then take today, right? Take action today, because the staircase does not move until you do. So take that advice from me. All right. Appreciate you guys watching this video. Check out somewhere on this screen for the next video.